Welcome to the Aerotropolis Atlanta Alliance Podcast. I am Shannon James, your president and CEO, and we want to thank you all for joining us another podcast interview. And we have none other than a great treat for you today. All right, one of my good friends, South Georgia native, none other than Maceo Rogers. Maceo, welcome.
Shannon, you make it sound so great. What can I say?
I got to roll it out, man.
You got to roll it out. I appreciate it. It's great to be here. We found it out. I'm almost to lose my headset here. But I'm Maceo Rogers, Director for the Department of Economic Development, City of East Point, and it's just great to be here this morning.
No, it's good to have you, man. It's always good to have another South Georgia native at the table with me because oftentimes I feel myself, it's either Atlanta or some other area around the world because most people seem to not be from Atlanta. Yeah. But to have another South Georgia native at the table, man, it just feels good, my friend.
It does. It does feel great.
That's
what
right.
Can I say?
That's right. We're in the house.
Yeah, we are.
That's right. Well, more importantly, maybe what my friends tell me is not where you're from, is where you're at.
There
right?
you go.
And so where we are is obviously the Aerotropolis, and we're excited to be here. We spend most, if not all of our time here. And, there's a lot of good things happening. And one of the things we want to do is just make sure our listeners are fully in tune with what's happening, what's going on in the Aerotropolis, and who better than to have the Economic Development Director for the City of East Point, one of the big three in the house. So, Maceo, again, I'm just glad to have you, my friend. And what I like the listeners to know, I know I've already bragged on you from South Georgia. Help us understand a little bit about you, Maceo.
Sure. Well, very good. And thanks for, again, having me. Great question. Of course, I'm from a very small rural community down in Southwest Georgia known as Cuthbert, Georgia, Randolph County. Grew up there. My mom still lives there. Older brother and his family still lives there. And, of course, my family and I live here in Metro Atlanta, specifically Decatur, Georgia. And I got a younger brother, and his family lives out in Stone Mountain. But a little bit more about myself. I grew up as a bona fide artist. So I do a lot of painting, a lot of commission work. I do shows when I can, whether it be a one-man show or a group show. But that has somehow spun in this direction of economic development. And
it's vision, Maceo, that's what it is.
Absolutely, because I always tell everyone that if I can visualize possibilities on a canvas before anything happens, then I can certainly visualize possibility of 200 acres of prime real estate for economic development activities. So yeah, it goes hand in hand. Without a doubt. Yeah.
Bad boy, Maceo. Bad boy. Listen, and we've been fortunate to now house Maceo's work actually in the Aerotropolis Atlanta headquarters. So for those of you who have been to our office and had an opportunity to see that great futuristic piece of work that's been done by the great Maceo Rogers. So when Maceo says he's an artist, he's for real, okay? Serious as it gets. And what I'd love to do is maybe help our listeners understand more specifically what's happening in East Point, right?
Sure,
because there's a lot happening. More importantly, I was downtown and you get blocked off in a certain parameters. You can't go left. You can't, you can only go right, or so on and so forth. And there's a lot of work happening in City Hall, and you guys are doing a true transformation. And I'm sure our listeners want to know about what is going on in downtown. So help us understand what you guys are doing.
Well, let me just tell you about one of the exciting events that we just had this past Friday evening. It was our annual Friday Night Flicks that we do.
Oh, and nice.
We featured the Black Panther.
Oh man, that's my movie right there.
Yeah, had a tremendous turnout. It was great. Very You're making me laugh.
I know, right?
And the families came out with their kids, and it was like screen on the green kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was just really, really wonderful. The weather panned out beautifully for us, so it was a fantastic gathering and a very enjoyable movie by everyone in attendance. But some of the great things that are going on in the city of East Point, of course, right now, as you just alluded to earlier, we have the new City Hall. Right. That is under construction and looking for a end of the year kind of a completion with that. Everyone is excited, particularly our city manager, Mr. Gardner, and the leadership, of course, our mayor and council members. all really looking forward to that project being completed, and excited about the big move in.
Oh man!
But that will be a 32,000 plus facility that will house a lot of our administrative staff.
Nice.
And as well, the mayor and council offices will also be there. And that project has really been a long time coming. But because we have such great leadership in place now, a lot of things are moving forward, and so we're very excited about that. A few other things that are going on right now. We have 2 hotels that are under construction. One out in this area, the 4 Points by Sheridan, which should also be coming online later this year. We had the grand opening of the Home 2 Suites Hotel over in the Virginia Avenue area about a month ago.
Shout out Neil Shaw.
There you go. I'm sure Neil is happy about that.
That's right.
And his hotel should be coming online maybe end of next year, 2019, as well. So we're very excited about that. That will give us, I think, altogether about 18 hotels in the city of East Point. So we're moving forward in that direction.
Wow.
Which really helps with respect to our ability to attract additional tourism, which we're working very steadfast with respect to our destination marketing organization, and that's looking really, really good. We have another project downtown, East Point Ace Hardware store, which is under construction now. They are doubling their size, more than doubling their size, and it's really right up the street from where the new city hall is is under construction. So that project too is looking really good, and we're excited about that. We have a host of other projects that are going on. We had a recent expansion by Arden's Garden, which is also
Leslie's in. You know, that's my girl.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, Leslie.
Well, she and her team are doing a great deal here for the city as well as surrounding communities, because they're not just located in East Point. They're headquartered in East Point. They have a location on Main Street as well as now Sylvan Road. So they're moving nicely with getting that up and running, the new facility. And we're very proud about that also. But some other things that we have going on that are really initiatives of the city involves our streetscape initiative downtown, which is going to really change the footprint of how our downtown area looks.
Absolutely.
We're adding a road diet in, widening the sidewalks. We're putting in pedestrian lanes, bike lanes, parking lanes, doing some streetscaping as well as land and lightscaping. So
need those lights, man.
Yes, you're going to see a lot of improvements right there as well. 26.2 miles of paths that will meander throughout the city and eventually connect to the Beltline. So we're very excited about that. It's going to get people out.
Yes, it is.
They'll be walking, pushing strollers, talking to each other, meeting, jogging, you name it. You know, people will be there, and it's all about the connectivity, the great connectivity that's coming to the city. And it wouldn't be that way if it wasn't for partnerships. Everyone working together to make these things happen. So we're very excited about that. And with respect to the things going on regarding marketing, trying to attract new, again, tourism into the city. And then, of course, we have our Main Street initiatives, Farmers Market is well on its way. When I first came to the city back in 2015, the farmer market was just once a week, primarily during the summer months. You know, kind of early spring to like early fall, and then it would take basically a sabbatical. But it's gotten to be so very popular now that, you know, it's a year-round effort, and so we're very excited about that.
Man, that's a lot of information, Maceo. Tons of information.
We got a lot going on.
Yes, man.
We got a lot going on.
I would be remiss if we didn't recognize our great Mayor Dina Holiday Ingram. Great friend. She is a true leader, visionary. You even mentioned leadership. So we're extremely excited about Mayor Dina Holiday Ingram. She also serves as our co-chair for our education collective. Matter of fact, we partnered with her when we did a huge Samaritan's Feet initiative, where we provided almost 500 families with new shoes.
Sure.
And she literally brought together the community from Fulton County schools to Impact Church. I mean, it was just phenomenal.
It was a tremendous event.
It was. And we even had council. Council came out. So great experience. And but man, you mentioned a lot of stuff that I want to hit on. I won't hit on everything, but got to recognize Leslie Zinn.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Arden's Garden is a phenomenal product, but more importantly, I think it's a great culture, a great company.
It is.
Leslie is probably one of the most admired people that I know. Used to serve as a banker, so there's a very personal relationship, and she has invested. You know, Leslie could have went anywhere.
She could have gone anywhere.
Leslie could have went anywhere.
That is correct.
But Leslie decided that she wanted to continue her commitment to East Point. I think it speaks volumes to your leadership of maintaining that relationship, because we talk about retention all the time. And now not only did you retain the relationship, but you're expanding the relationship.
Yes.
And now Arden's Garden is funny. I was in Publix just this weekend, and I saw Leslie on the shelf, and I know she's in wholesale Whole Foods and Kroger and other institutions. But when I saw her in Publix in my community, I was like, man, Leslie is everywhere. So I love to brag and boast about her and her organization anywhere, anytime.
Absolutely,
she's certified.
Yes.
And then you also mentioned the new Main Street. The Streetscapes project, and I do believe you guys are working with Path Foundation. Is that correct? Is that the same project?
So the Path Foundation, we're talking with them with respect to the paths,
right?
And the we got $7.3 million in local federal funding for the streetscape initiative that we're doing downtown. And of course, that would allow us to do those things that I mentioned earlier.
Amazing.
In terms of all those enhancements. That's going to really take the city to the next level.
No question. No question, man. You guys, I mean, Maceo, man, it's phenomenal. It gives me goosebumps to hear all this stuff. And I hope our listeners get a chance to understand all of this activity, right? Because it takes so much planning and so much thought process to move these projects forward to the stages to implementation to ultimately fruition, right?
There you go.
And but while we're kind of on the subject of downtown, and I think we all know that that's very much a focal point, kind of speak to our listeners in regards to MARTA, because there's a huge MARTA connection right there near downtown. All the work that's being done. What has MARTA meant to the city of East Point? And maybe even speak to what it even means to the future of East Point.
Sure. Well, great question. And let me just say that MARTA is critical to the city. It's also critical to Fulton, DeKalb County, and of course now Clayton County, because it runs through. And it has really meant it's been kind of like a lifeline for the city in terms of getting people through East Point and around about East Point. We have the East Point train station, which is a great stop for folk wanting to make connections, either getting around East Point or making their way onto the airport or making their way on north to the city of Atlanta. But the city just wouldn't be as viable if we didn't have that transportation access, because that means a lot in terms of us being able to do some of the things that we're poised now to do, and those things that we're actually getting done. People need ability to get around. They need access to points of interest, whether it be their work, their homes, their entertainment, visitations, whatever it might be, just getting around. And so having that station there means a lot to not only the citizens, but certainly to businesses, because, again, a lot of employees depend on that modern transportation and connectivity.
Absolutely. I mean, you just hit it spot on, and I'm sure, our great partners like Cookie Smoke with ATL Airport District love to hear that information, because that is just that's another form of connectivity for those who are interested in now making their way down to the new hotels that are being open and established.
Absolutely.
And so we love to give always shout out to Cookie Smoke and our great partners at ATL, Airport District, DMO. And but you're absolutely right. And in regards to MARTA, right, downtown, there's so much going on downtown. I know that there's a project that the city is working on to continue to create that live, work, play atmosphere around a potential mixed-use development. Would you be willing to let some of our listeners know what's going on there?
So we have an 8-acre tract right down in the heart of East Point. We just put out an RFP on that, and of course, we are in the very preliminary stage in terms of the master developer being selected and communicated with. But it will be a very, very huge welcome to the city for that development to not only just get underway, but actually take place, because it's been a long time coming. So it's being billed as a mixed-use development project that will consist, of course, of all of the amenities that goes into, those type developments. We don't know what the developer might come up with, but we do know that they will come up with something that is kind of centered along the lines of our strategic economic development plan that was developed and approved by the leadership a few years ago, and other, I guess, maybe wishes that the city leadership would have itself for going into that project. But in addition to that, we recently had the grand opening of the Malibu Point project, which is also a mixed use. Won't be as big as the one that I just alluded to, but it was the first development in several years that had come to the heart of downtown. So it's a great project.
Yes, it is.
Anytime that you start, Shannon, new development, property values go up. And of course, that's exactly what has happened within the area of downtown. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, with the new city hall being under construction, then you have now these investment opportunities that are taking place, and it's not just from the private sector, but it's also from the public sector. The city obviously know that it is extremely important that it invests in itself, and by doing so, that brings other opportunities forward as well. So we're very excited about all of these things that are going on in tandem at this time.
Man, great leadership, Maceo. I mean, no question. I think the city of East Point is really not only talking the talk, but you're walking the walk, right? When you start investing in your own backyard. And that's something that I think our listeners are going to be really pleased to hear. And I know we spend a lot of time on downtown. I love to transition just a bit because there's a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement about the new Divergent Diamond Interchange that literally just broke ground, feeding right into the city of East Point. Can you speak to more about what that project is going to mean and the future for that piece of the city of East Point?
Yes. As you know, that is well under construction now. And when you think about Camp Creek and I-285, the Camp Creek Market area, as well as the Camp Creek Marketplace and Camp Creek Point, are basically, this whole area is really, kind of to summarize it, as a regional center.
Yeah, it is.
And so you have a lot of folk going and coming, huge attraction, and it has been a huge success for the city of East Point, and I should add for the city of Atlanta, because most folk don't know that part of Camp Creek Marketplace exists or resides in the city of Atlanta.
That's right.
And the other part, it resides in the city of East Point. So there's a kind of a shared benefit, shared success with respect to that one center. But so having said that, that, there's a lot of traffic.
Right.
A lot of traffic.
Tons of traffic. Let them know again, Maceo, traffic is coming.
And the good thing about that is that, when you see all that traffic, something is happening.
Absolutely.
There's a great buzz there. And when you see all of these shoppers, whether they're coming in to shop or eat or be entertained, or just making their way from one point to another, there is a lot of activity, a lot of moving around, a lot of connecting points. So when you have that, then to have this diversion interchange,
Right.
that is now under construction. It's the whole idea is to eliminate that bottleneck.
That's right.
That you have getting on to 285, getting off from 285 onto Camp Creek, and to have that move efficiently.
Right.
So that no one gets frustrated.
Right.
Having to find themselves sitting in traffic means a lot. And
does.
so it saves time.
Yep.
Ultimately, it saves money. And when you can do that in an area like this here, it's just it's altogether better for everyone involved.
Absolutely.
Whether you live in the area, whether you work in the area, whether you're just passing through in the area, if you can get from one point to another, it makes a huge difference.
A world of difference.
In the way you actually feel, your attitude.
That's right. It's a
your
spillover.
health, your health,
Yes.
you know, because you're not sitting in traffic, right?
Right. You're not letting those energies boil up, right?
There you go.
I mean,
There you go.
I'm sure everybody's excited about now 285 and Camp Creek becoming more efficient.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I like the fact that you hit a lot of the save points, but I love to maybe articulate to our listeners that it also saves lives.
Oh,
This
indeed,
diversion
indeed,
diamond
indeed.
is going to literally eliminate any potential, and I won't say any, but let's just say the risk of loss of life when you're making that left-hand
Sure,
turn.
sure.
And that is something I hope our listeners take away as well. Not only are we going to save time, we're going to save some lives here, and also now create more opportunities for the city of East Point to attract more business, more opportunities, and improve the quality of life for all of us around. You guys are building up, Maceo.
Oh man, we are.
My
we are.
goodness, man.
And we don't want to stop.
That's right. Can't stop, won't stop, right? So,
There you go.
but last thing I would, I know you and I could probably go on and on forever.
Sure.
But I would love for our listeners to know a little known fact about East Point that I tend to talk about a lot is the fact that crime is slowly, continually to decrease in the city limits. Can you elaborate to our listeners about that?
Yes, and another shout out goes to our great police chief Tommy Gardner. He's doing a great job.
That's right.
And of course, I always like to say that nobody does it alone. This whole thing of economic development is everybody's business.
That's right.
And to our partnership here with the Aerotropolis Alliance and CIDs. Specifically out in this area, regarding the marketplace and Camp Creek Market Point, crime has definitely tamped down.
Absolutely.
It has been reduced because everyone is now working together.
Right.
And we have programs in place that specifically target potential crime activity before it gets off the ground.
Right.
And that wouldn't be the case if everyone wasn't working together. And so to Antoine, his efforts with working along with the City of East Point Police Department, this area now has become much safer. And of course, let's face it. I mean, safety it can make or break you.
It can.
If you don't feel safe in your community, then you won't have people who want to come there. People will not come there.
That's right.
They will not want to spend money there.
That's right.
They want to go to a place, an environment where safety is paramount, and they can spend money. They can leisurely walk around and eat, again, be entertained or whatever it might be, or just kind of hang out.
That's right.
It's a gathering spot.
That's right. That's right.
So it goes to the bottom line. And if you have those components in place, then surely you're poised for success, without a doubt.
I love it, Maceo. No question, City of East Point has all of those components, and you guys are no question poised for success. Yeah. And I love your continued leadership, it's in particular around partnership, because you're right, economic development is a team sport.
Yes, it is.
You can't go at it alone.
Can't do it.
You won't be as effective or efficient. And I think that we collectively are creating this ecosystem of partnership, which is amazing. And I think all those around us will stand to benefit. And the more it continues to be articulated and the behaviors are adopted, we'll just continue to advance as a region. So just excited about you and your leadership, Maceo, the great Mayor Dina Holiday Ingram, City Manager Fred Garner, everyone. We're just excited to be a part of the City of East Point and to be able to help collectively move our region together collectively. Anything anything you would like to leave our listeners with?
Well,
Maceo?
I would just like to say, Shannon, kudos to you.
Appreciate it,
You've
man.
come on in a very, very short time. And ever since you took the bull by the horn, so to speak,
Absolutely.
you have been running and you've been getting things done.
I'm trying. Thank you.
And you haven't even taken your second win yet. So
nah, man. I'm still getting my first right now.
Still getting your first. And so congratulations to
Thank you,
for
Maceo.
all of your efforts. It's paying off in big ways.
Awesome.
And we just appreciate you.
Well,
and,
thank you.
And to my great city of East Point, we're working together.
Absolutely.
Things are happening, and we're moving it forward, and we're moving it upward.
That's right.
And there you go. You got it.
Forward and upward, baby.
Yeah, you got
That's
it.
right. And I love that, Maceo. I just feel like we're all servants. And anytime you act in a servant mentality,
Sure.
No question returns are plentiful.
There you go.
And our future looks bright.
It does. Indeed.
Well, thank you for joining me, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that is another take of the Aerotropolis Atlanta Alliance. Maceo, would you like to leave anything in regards to your website with the city or any other information?
Yeah, for any of our listeners that would like to find out more about what's going on in the city of East Point, go to www.eastpointcity.org, and you can find us there. And then, of course, you can always call the Department of Economic Development for more information about the great things that we're doing in that realm as well.
Thank you, Maceo.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you for joining us.
All righty.
Another
Appreciate
edition, Aerotropolis Atlanta Podcast. Thank you all for joining us, our listeners, our viewers. Tune in next time where we want to help you land here and take off. Thank you.